Hi, welcome to today's episode of the Perfume Preppy, where we talk about all things fragrance. Before we get started, be sure to click like and subscribe. That way you're notified when I release new fragrance-related content. Without further ado, let's get into it. So, before we start today, I'd just like to say Happy Lunar New Year and Happy belated Valentine's Day, which was this past weekend. So, to all of our listeners who celebrate or just, like the idea of it, Happy Lunar New Year. Today we're going to be doing actually our first installment since 2026 started in the long-running series that's been on my channel called Scents You're Sleeping On. And so today we're going to be talking about Givenchy Amarige. And I have this right here. This is my bottle of it. This is actually this is my newest bottle that I just got, but this has been a favorite of mine for years, actually since high school. This particular bottle is a 1.5 ounce, and as I've mentioned, I think I highlighted this just very briefly in a previous video I did about my signature scents. If you've listened to this channel or watched it for any length of time, you know that I say that, signature scents are important and you should have, usually a couple scents that, people kind of associate with you, if not necessarily by name, at least by smell. So Givenchy Amarige is definitely one of mine, so we'll be giving you a little background today about it. But just before we get into the fragrance background, the background for me is I got my very first bottle of this when I was about 17, just at TJ Maxx, and they had, I think it was like I think it was just a flat 1 ounce. And I just love the scent so much, even to this day. This is, like I said, one of my signature scents. I love to wear it like really like in the fall, winter. So we haven't quite gotten to spring, so I still wear this a little bit, but I don't really wear it when it gets hotter so much because, once again, if you've watched this channel, I talk about fragrances blooming and things like that and how sometimes it changes the notes. And this is a floral scent. So because of that, in the summertime, I tend not to wear it because it does tend to change some of the notes in it. That being said, let's get into the notes about it. And as you know, once again, if you watch this channel for any length of time, I love a notepad and I love to, give a little background on it. So Givenchy Amarige has been around for a little while. It's been around, it was first launched in 1991. And the nose or the perfumier behind it is Dominique Ropion. The top notes in it are orange blossom, peach, plum, neroli, Brazilian rosewood, violet, and mandarin orange. What I will tell you is you can definitely smell the orange blossom and the mandarin orange. When you first smell it, that's something that hits you right then, which, yeah, you definitely smell that orange. And the thing that I can appreciate is the way it's blended with some of the other notes. It's not so, it tones down how citrus it is, which I think is really important because while I like a lot of citrus fragrances, like Clinique Happy is one that I've loved since like my freshman year of college. Some other citrus fragrances, they can come off too citrus to the point of acidity, or to the point of being acidic, excuse me. So I really like that the orange is blended so well with all of these like floral notes that really complement it very well. Middle notes are tuberose, mimosa, gardenia, lang lang, jasmine, black locust, carnation, black currant, red berries, cassia, rose, and orchid. You can definitely smell orchid. If you're a floral girly and you like flowers, you can smell that. The gardenia is noticeable. I know that this is a middle note, but the way it's blended, you do kind of get a whiff of it. As I said, there's quite a bit of floral notes to kind of tone down the citrus in it, so that's pretty important. Base notes are sandalwood, amber, vanilla, musk, tonka bean, and cedar. You can, like, when you take a whiff and you kind of let it settle for a second, you definitely smell that vanilla and that tonka bean. Once again, if you've been anyone who's subscribed to my channel for a long time, you know I'm a vanilla girly. I love a vanilla fragrance, and I love a tonka bean. You have to really poorly blend vanilla or tonka bean in a fragrance for me to dislike it, because you can mix vanilla with just about anything, with the exception of patchouli, I would say, and I like it. To me, patchouli is just so earthy and so strong that you can put all the vanilla in the world with it, and my nose just doesn't like it. But generally speaking, anything else with vanilla and tonka bean, I gravitate to. So the name Amarige is an anagram for the French word mariage, I believe. Am I pronouncing that right? Which basically means marriage, or the French word for marriage. And unfortunately, Givenchy Amarige only comes in eau de toilette. And in previous videos, you hear me talk about the difference between parfum, eau de toilette. And the reason for that is because those are, classifications of, how much of the perfume oil is in the fragrance, right? So what that does is that lets you know upon buying it, and with that, it also gives you an idea how long it's going to last as a fragrance. And I have searched far and wide trying to find this in an eau de parfum or a parfum, and you can't find it. I've looked in department stores. I've looked in, like fragrance.net, which you hear me talk about a lot on this channel, which is one of my favorite places to get perfumes, even perfumes that have been discontinued or are not widely sold so much anymore. I've looked all over, like, just trying to just see if it even exists, like Amazon, eBay, just to kind of see if there's anything out there. I don't think that this has been released in that. If anyone finds out different, I would love for you to, put a comment and say, hey, it is, and so and so has it. But like, since I've really gotten into this fragrance, like I said, I first started wearing it at 17, but I'd say when I started wearing it more in college, I was like, why is it only an eau de toilette? So I went looking, pretty persistently for an eau de parfum, and I couldn't find it. So I don't think that they necessarily sell it in an eau de parfum. But what I will say is, considering the fact that it's an eau de toilette, it does last pretty long. But I would encourage you, as I tend to do on this channel, if you can find a gift set of it, and you usually can either on fragrancenet.com, which by the way, this video is not sponsored, let me say that, or like in a department store around Christmas time, they usually have it in a gift set, or as I mentioned before, even TJ Maxx. A lot of times during the holidays or whenever they get in new stock, they'll have it in like a gift set or like in a complete set where you get, the lotion, or you get like a travel spray, or, like a like a shower gel, some sort of component with that. What I will say is, on its own, it does last pretty long considering the fact that it's an eau de toilette. But what I'll also say is, because it's an eau de toilette, if you buy it in a set, I would definitely encourage you to use all the other components, just so you're not going through that bottle. Because even though this one's pretty good about that, you're still going to burn through it faster than you would, say, a parfum or eau de parfum fragrance. So that's just something to consider, but it is a wonderful fragrance. Like I said, everybody's, previously on other videos, I talk about like how, things break down on other people, but I've smelled this fragrance on other people, and I haven't smelled on anyone that it doesn't smell good on, but once again, test it for yourself. But yeah, this is bar none one of my favorite fragrances. It breaks down really well. Even like over the course of a day, when it gets down to like those base notes, it just smells really good. So yeah, I just want to jump on here, like I said, as part of this series that we're doing on here, to just kind of remind everyone about certain scents that aren't really as popular as they once were. Like I said, this was launched in 1991, so it's been out for a little while. But yeah, if you're thinking about just trying a fragrance, or you've kind of forgotten about it and you were like, yeah, that did smell good, I would encourage you to try it, or even, if you stopped wearing it or used to wear it a long time, to go to pick it back up and wear it. Like I said, we're in winter months now. It's really great at this time of year, fall and winter. I strongly recommend it. So with that, I just wanted to jump on here and say that. I plan on releasing another video next week. Hopefully, if my work schedule isn't too crazy, I'll be able to do that. But that is my plan. And I do have an unboxing coming up as well. That was something I meant to do towards the end of 2025, but just didn't quite come around to it. But I do plan on doing that in 2026, and that'll be the first one on this channel. But, thank you so much for watching. And with that, I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.